This happened in the summer of 2019 at a truck stop off Interstate 80 in Nebraska. One of those places that's open 24/7, middle of nowhere, serving coffee and gas to anyone desperate enough to stop there at 3 in the morning. I had just started working nights. The pay was better, and honestly, I needed the money. Student loans were piling up, rent was due, and this job paid an extra $2 per hour for graveyard shift. $2 doesn't sound like much, but when you're broke, you take what you can get. My manager told me the night shift was easy, quiet.
Maybe 10 customers between midnight and 6 a.m. Most of them truckers, in and out, no problems. He made it sound like I'd be getting paid to sit around and watch Netflix on my phone. He was right about one thing. It was quiet. Too quiet. My first night went fine. A few truckers came through, bought coffee and cigarettes, used the bathroom, left. I restocked shelves, wiped down counters, played games on my phone. Easy money, just like he said. The second night, though, that's when things got weird. Around 2:30 in the morning, I was standing behind the counter, scrolling through social media, when I heard the door chime. Someone had walked in. I looked up, ready to give my automatic greeting, but there was nobody there. The store was empty. I figured maybe the sensor was acting up. These older stores, the equipment breaks down all the time. I went back to my phone, but then I heard footsteps. Slow, deliberate footsteps coming from the back of the store, near the coolers. I put my phone down and listened. The footsteps continued. Heavy boots on tile floor. Someone was definitely in here with me. "Hello?" I called out. No answer. Just the footsteps, getting closer. I walked out from behind the counter and looked down each aisle. Nobody. The footsteps had stopped. I checked the coolers, the bathroom, even looked outside. Not a single person. Not a single car in the parking lot except mine. I went back behind the counter, telling myself I was just tired. Night shifts mess with your head. Your mind plays tricks on you when you're alone in a big empty building at 3 in the morning. But then I saw something on the security monitor. We had 4 cameras. One on the front door, one on the register, one on the gas pumps, and one pointing down the main aisle toward the back of the store. I was watching the aisle camera when I saw it. A shadow, moving, walking slowly from the coolers toward the front of the store. But when I looked up from the monitor and stared down that same aisle, there was nothing there, just empty shelves and fluorescent lights. I looked back at the monitor. The shadow was still there, still walking, getting closer to the camera. I could see it clearly now. It was shaped like a person, tall and thin, but it moved wrong. The movements were too smooth, too fluid, like it was gliding instead of walking. My heart started pounding. I wanted to look away from the monitor, but I couldn't. The shadow kept getting closer to the camera until finally it stopped, right in front of the lens. And then it turned. It looked directly at the camera, directly at me. I don't know how to explain this, but even though it was just a shadow, just a dark shape on a grainy security feed, I knew it was looking at me. I felt it. That same feeling you get when someone's staring at you from across a room, and you just know, even before you turn around. I finally tore my eyes away from the monitor and looked down the aisle again. Still nothing. The shadow wasn't there in real life, only on the camera. Then the lights started flickering, just the ones in the back of the store, near the coolers. On, off, on, off. Slow at first, then faster. The fluorescent tubes buzzing and crackling like they were about to explode. I grabbed my phone, ready to call my manager, or the police, or anyone, but there was no signal. Full bars when I checked 5 minutes ago. Now nothing. Just a little X where the bars should be. The lights stopped flickering. Everything went still. The store was dead silent. No hum from the coolers. No buzz from the lights. No traffic noise from the highway. Just silence. And then I heard it. A voice. Quiet. Barely a whisper. Coming from the back of the store. "I see you." I ran. I didn't think, I just ran. Out from behind the counter, past the aisles, straight for the front door. I shoved it open and kept running across the parking lot to my car. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely get the key in the ignition. I sat there in my car, engine running, staring at the store. All the lights were on. Everything looked normal, like nothing had happened. I waited for maybe 10 minutes, trying to decide what to do. I couldn't just leave. I'd get fired. I needed this job. Finally, I worked up the courage to go back inside. I pushed the door open slowly, expecting the worst, but everything was fine. The lights were working. The coolers were humming. My phone had full signal again. I checked the security footage, rewound it back to 2:30, watched myself standing behind the counter, saw myself look up when I heard the footsteps, saw myself walk around the store looking for whoever was there. But on the camera, I was alone the whole time. No shadow, no figure, just me walking around an empty store, looking scared out of my mind. I finished my shift, didn't tell anyone what happened. I needed the money. I came back the next night, and the night after that. Nothing strange happened again. Not for a while anyway. But here's the thing. About 2 weeks later, I was talking to one of the day shift employees. She'd worked there for 5 years. I asked her if anything weird ever happened at night. She looked at me funny. Then she asked if I'd seen him yet. Seen who? I said. The man in the back of the store. The shadow man. My blood went cold. What are you talking about? She told me that back in 2003, a man had been murdered in that store, late at night during a robbery. The night shift employee at the time had been shot and killed near the coolers in the back. They caught the guy who did it, sent him to prison. But ever since then, people working nights reported seeing shadows, hearing footsteps, feeling like they were being watched. Why didn't anyone tell me this before I started? I asked. She shrugged. Because nobody stays if they know, and we need the night coverage. I quit 2 days later. Found another job, day shift only, less pay. I don't care. Some money isn't worth it. They say that store is still open, still hiring for night shift, still paying that extra $2 per hour. And they say if you work there long enough, you'll see him. The shadow man, walking the aisles, watching the cameras, whispering from the back of the store. I see you. If you're ever driving through Nebraska late at night and you need gas, check the address before you stop. If it's that truck stop off Interstate 80, mile marker 237, do yourself a favor. Keep driving. Wait for the next one. Trust me, the $2 an hour isn't worth what you'll see. Wait for the next one. Trust me, the $2 an hour isn't worth what you'll see.